There we go. Now we're live. Hello, Paul.
Oh, we're live?
Yes,
We are live. How
I
exciting.
know, right? So, my friend, how are you?
Oh, you're talking to
Yeah,
me?
but
Sorry, you said friend. I got confused.
uh,
We bring all the jokes,
we do.
all the lols, all the guffaws. Hi,
Yes,
how's it going?
good, man. So today is our normal Thursday stream, um,
It
and
is.
and we are going to be going a little bit deeper than we normally do. But before we talk about
Mm.
that, who are you?
That is an excellent question. My name is Paul Chakosky, and I am what am I supposed to call myself? A managed OpenShift black belt. And that's a fancy way to say I help people use OpenShift, especially of the managed variety. But I also help people do regular Kubernetes, DevOps, digital transformation, or any other buzzword. The only buzzword I don't help with is Istio.
What about my printer? Can you help me?
And
Can you
that,
help me with my
and
printer?
I cannot help you with, I don't know which one I would least enjoy helping someone with, printers or Istio. And of course, I joke, Istio is great. You should be using it um, by our cloud. And JJ, who are you?
Yes, hello. My name is JJ Asgar. I'm a developer advocate, as you can see down there below me, for the IBM Cloud. And I do cloudy things. Um, I kind of, I represent IBM in different communities to try to make sure that, we have a seat at the table and also to make sure that, we're being good citizens, is a good way to describe it.
Nice. So you would describe yourself as a jack of all clouds?
Sure, let's go with that. Um, but
All right.
but normally I spend most of my time with uh, with the IBM Cloud for obvious reasons. But
Obviously.
with the new hybrid cloud world, I am starting to spend some time revisiting all the other clouds out there. And you'll see me soon on a couple other streams that I have friends at other clouds that I'm going to go in there and try to bring in the hybrid cloud world. Um,
Nice.
so we actually tried that last week, didn't we?
We did. Actually, no, I have an update from last week's
Oh,
stream.
you do.
So last week's stream, we were using the Advanced Cluster Manager,
Mm-hmm.
the Red Hat Advanced Cluster Manager, to manage application across multiple
Mm-hmm.
clusters from one location.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a bit of an error in our assumptions on how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was asking for a Git repo,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of assumed that it was a similar to we give it like a Git repo with source code and it would build it for us.
Okay.
But it was actually asking for a Git repo more in the sense of like a GitOps style Git repo.
Oh.
So it didn't want a Git repo containing our application. It wanted a Git repo containing like the kube manifests and environment details to deploy our application with. And there are even some custom resources like subscriptions that are more specific to ACM
Mm-hmm.
that help that even more. And we got a half working app simply because our Git repo happened to have some kube manifests in it. And that's why we saw some weird call outs to some Tecton stuff that we didn't have installed because we had some Tecton pipelines sitting in a directory in the Git repo.
Oh wow. Okay. So
So all
okay.
errors and all failures in last week's stream was us, not the advanced cluster manager. And that just goes to show if you read the documentation or even just the quick start before you actually try something out, you'll probably have a better time.
Okay. Well, sounds like we need to come back to that maybe next week and
Yeah.
revisit this. But because we'll actually do our homework ahead of time. But that was part of the challenge, right? Is that we wanted to see if
Yeah.
we could try to do it from the ground up, and we obviously kind of did it. But it's good to know that we can now revisit it with fresher eyes. Um,
Right.
so okay, so what are we planning on doing today?
Yeah. So I had the some reason to set up a custom domain certificate and then a WAF. in front of a
Bless you.
OpenShift cluster in, thank you, in AWS. And I hadn't done any of that stuff before. And so I hunted down the docs and figured it out. And I thought it might be a fun exercise to do the same on IBM Cloud.
Nice.
Because, you know, while we love the fact that when we get a IBM Cloud OpenShift cluster, we get like Ingress and we get a secure domain automatically.
Mm-hmm.
But it's less exciting than it could be because it's not my domain. It's star.something.ibm.cloud.com.org/gov or whatever, you know.
There's a
And so
containers
I
and
thought,
an appcloud.cloud.
right,
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
it's a very long subdomain. And it's fine if you're going to put a CNAME or something in front of it. But if you put a CNAME in front of it, you need to deal with the certificate name change.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, you need to kind of go down this path. So yeah,
Cool.
I figured that's what we'll do. We'll do the DNS and wildcard and get that route working. And then if we still have time and we're feeling like we're being successful, we can look at there's an IBM Cloud WAF service that we stumbled across. And so we can look at putting that across in front of it and then actually do like a cross-site scripting attack or a SQL injection attack and see what happens.
Nice. Sounds like a plan. Okay.
Does sound like a plan.
So let me go ahead and bring over the screen share. Let's see if this actually works. Maybe, if I'm lucky. That looks like it's better. Let's see if it comes up on there. It does. Wonderful. So hey, Paul. Let's double check. Can you type "Hello, JJ, you're awesome" in the that for me? Let's see. You might need to make it a little bit.
JJ, I am awesome.
Oh, boo. Close enough. Okay, cool. So hopefully that's
what you told me to write.
That's true. That is true. So if I can get a +1 or something like that in the chat to make sure that it's big enough for everybody to read. Otherwise, I need to make it a little bit bigger. That'll work. That'll be wonderful. And then perfect. Thank you. I'm assuming LK8. I don't know who that is, but cool. Thank you so much. So here we go. If you've never seen this before, this is the IBM Cloud, and this is my typical OpenShift cluster we're playing around with. Hey, Lost Algorithm, how you doing, buddy? And I am behind the curve. I'm sorry. I know somebody's going to point that out to me, so I'll go ahead and preempt it by saying, yes, I know I'm behind. I need to update. I'm sorry. But we have a...
What are we behind on?
The version of OpenShift.
Oh, the OpenShift version. Yeah, that's fine.
After this.
It's so easy to upgrade it. You just click the upgrade button, so you know it's no big deal.
Yeah, exactly. But here is the actual OpenShift console that we have everything up and running how we expect it to. I have a handful of things on here, but we'll create a new project and play around in that. But I haven't actually logged in yet. So let me go ahead and log in, which will be nice and useful here in a moment. And then we'll just verify here to make sure that we got communication, and then we'll go from there. So as you see, I grabbed this token. This token only lasts for about 24 hours.
Quick, everyone, take a screenshot and log into his OpenShift cluster.
You're actually going to spend the time to write out that hash. You deserve to get into my cluster. So if we do OC get projects, we should see a bunch of projects now. Exactly. And as you can see here, I have, Python Web Conference, PepsiCo, YouTube example. So, hey, Lost Algorithm. Yes. If you need some water, it's over there. Get it? Coughing? No, nothing. Okay. So, Paul, what's the first thing?
Yeah, that's me.
What's the first thing we do here?
What is the first thing we do here?
Yes.
Well, I guess we need to figure out what we're going to do. Are we going to use a real certificate? If so, a real DNS name. If so, we need to log into wherever your DNS is and make sure we can create a wildcard certificate. Oh, you're way ahead of it. A wildcard DNS. But before that, before we actually create it, we actually need to have the endpoint to point it at. So if you go back to the doc, we need to create a, let me see.
Custom domains operator here? Is that what we're looking for?
So I believe we have that running already. So if you do a get CRDs grep custom domain, you should see if we already have that.
Nope.
Oh, interesting. Well, in that case, why don't we pop into the OpenShift console and go to the operators list?
Operators. If you don't know what an operator is,
And
please throw something in the chat so we can take a quick aside to talk about it. Otherwise, we'll just continue on.
right.
Just thinking about it. There we go. Domain.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to get you a doc that I wrote that it might be easier to follow it. So I remember how it goes. So I will look that up while you're clicking around.
Looking for custom domain. Nothing's coming up.
Oh,
Uh,
well, let's
so there's.
do what we always do and just roll forward and see what happens. Yeah, so let me put this into here. You. So in the tmarks, I just put a link to a doc.
Oh, sorry, 1 second. I guess. Oh, sorry, Lost Algorithm. I should have mentioned that. The article is subscriber and exclusive content. Yeah, you can get your dev license from Red Hat now. That'll open that up. And if you didn't know, also
It's a subscription, not a license.
sorry. And also
I'm legally obliged to remind everyone of that.
say that. And also, if you didn't know, recently you can get up to, isn't it 16 subscriptions to RHEL for free to learn as a developer now.
That's right.
Which is pretty cool. So if you're worried about stepping into that world and the history of getting your hands on RHEL to do stuff, there is now a path for developers, which is really, really nice.
But I just posted the link for this document, and this document is actually like a short to the point version of what we were just looking at anyway, that I compiled to have not just the custom domain, but also the WAF bits.
Okay.
And so this will give us something we can follow through, but also something that folks at home can actually click on and see and follow. And I even did an amazing stick figure architecture diagram.
Do you mind answering Al K8's obvious question for me while I kind of flip through this real fast?
Yeah, so what we'll be doing, buddy, is we will be, first of all, setting up, if it works, a custom domain and wildcard certificates so that our applications can have our own domain on them and not the default IBM Cloud domain. And if that all goes well, then we will try to put the IBM Cloud WAF in front of it and make sure that that works as well. So just depending on how successful we are as we go through.
So I'm going to need certbot on the local machine to pull these keys down, aren't I?
Yeah, you can install certbot locally, and you can do it. It is in your DNF repos, so you should be able to do a sudo DNF install certbot.
Okay. Or maybe we already have it. Come to think of it, cert. We don't. Okay. Give me 2 seconds here. Because I'm a good citizen, I have another window that I have root on over here that no one gets to see. Oh, so give me a second. I'm sorry. Install cert.
Instead of running sudo jj SSHs into a server directly as root, because apparently that's more secure.
It's true. No, I ran sudo with another user. I'm not that well.
Look, it's a secure 6-character password with no numbers or special characters, okay? So no one's ever going to get into my root password.
Hey, Hunter 2 is pretty... Wait, I mean, what? Oh, good thing. Okay, cert bot. There we go. Perfect. Oh, really? Oh no, I can do this locally. Okay, cool. All right, so
Yeah, you want to set the it gave you some commands you could run to.
just throw that on there, and then domain of os.asgardlabs.io, star.os.asgard. Does
Sure.
seem reasonable, right? You're right. I
Yeah,
lost
why not?
algorithm. At least I didn't actually post that token. I've been Don't watch my previous videos. Please don't watch those. That's I might do that a little too often. All right. So I can just steal this, right? There's nothing unique in here.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You can run this, but you'll actually want to run certbot again because it's actually going to give you commands you can run to put it in a local place.
Ah.
Um, yeah, so you want to set.
Uh,
Oh, it really wants that for logged and wow, why are you so annoying?
I need to put a PR in here into this doc.
Maybe I just YOLO'd it as root, but we should do this properly. So you can paste that command. Why don't you do, let me see, get us into, are we in like a temporary scratch directory, something we can write some files to?
Now we are.
Right.
Set paste. There's that for us. All right.
Right.
You want
And so we just need to add
to take it over?
config work and logs yeah. Well, we can just do,
All right. So while Paul's doing this in the background,
no,
I'm gonna go ahead and show Al K8. I'm gonna butcher that every time I see it. So a WAF is just this thing right here. On IBM Cloud, it's called Internet Services. But yes, you are absolutely right. It's a web application firewall. If you take a link, he went ahead and put this in the chat, and I'll bring it up also. Basically, it sits in front of your application to make sure that you don't do some cross-site scripting, or it's just basically making sure that SQL injection, cross-site scripting, file exclusion, making sure that bad people don't do bad stuff to your machines. Most of the time, it's a service, just like AWS WAF is in front of it. IBM has its own, which is called Internet Services. That takes care of a lot of this stuff. As you see here, WAF configure against common threats. So our goal is to just basically put it in front of to show that it's possible. So we're a little bit more confident. Paul and I have never actually done it before, so this is our learning experience to get to that point. Did I answer that okay for you? Al K-Y-8. Al E. I don't know how to say that name. I don't. Okay. Anyway, Paul, sorry, where are we?
all right, so you can see it's telling you to deploy a DNS text record under that domain with a value containing that thing. So you'll want to, in your DNS provider, get jiggy with that.
All right, and we want to do a text one here,
Text record.
text
Yep.
record here, and we're going to do star.os. Oh no, sorry. We're going to do Acme Challenge.
No, it's telling you what you need,
Yep.
acmechallenge.os.
Acme Challenge.
It'd be easier if you pasted.
It would be, wouldn't it? All right. And then we'll take this, copy, paste, and we'll change this to 10 minutes because I don't want to do that longer. Am I missing anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right.
acmechallenge.os. Hang on. I see. I think I can't quite read what you did. Let me just bring it up in the bigger screen. No, yeah, I think we're good.
All right. We'll add that record. Okay.
So do we see that record in there now?
Yes, it looks like it's right here. Ends with a capital M, begins with a capital P. There we go.
Perfect. So now if you drop back to the command line and hit enter, it will now verify that change.
Cool.
And then we now have, certificates.
Yay.
Where did we end up with them? Live.
So Alec is asking, so the GitHub instructions will be modified to use the IBM WAF in the link above. Well, we wanted to verify that we could get that working also, Alec. But the idea is that these instructions that we're seeing here, they should be pretty close to exactly what we need to do. But before we do anything, we needed to get our certs working. So that's the first thing we're doing now.
Yeah, the first half of the doc is generic because it's just OpenShift, and then the second half of the doc, if we get that far, we'll be converting to suit the IBM WAF instead of the Amazon WAF. But the actual setup that we care about should be the same. It's just clicking on a different GUI.
Yep.
We hope.
Hope.
All right, so it looks like we have our certificates. So now if we drop back to our instructions, we're going to create, we need to create that cert equals. And so that was it temp live? That. And then we're going to create a custom OpenShift domain. And so we're going to start by running a OC new project, and we're just going to call it my custom route because it's super imaginative. And the good thing about OpenShift, when you use that new project, it actually changes your context to that context.
Nice.
And so you don't need to constantly specify your namespace. And I just noticed I needed to fix that here. So we're now creating a secret, and we're using the cert, the full chain for the cert, and then also the private key for the cert.
Did you know Cher is 75 years old today?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that news with me.
I know, right? Blew my mind when I heard it.
Get it? Sharing that news.
No, that's good.
Get it? Get it? Listen, if I'm going to put the effort into making a really bad joke, you need to acknowledge it.
I did. I just wasn't too sure how to bring the or share the knowledge, the smiles with you. That's not that very good. You can do better than that.
All right. So our next step now is creating a custom domain resource. And if you see, we're doing a bash style here doc to just dump this directly into OC apply. And you can see we've got our domain is being specified there, and the certificate that we just created and the namespace we just created.
So Alec has a question of, why can't you just automate the whole setup with a script or an operator or cube apply something?
Yeah, so we absolutely could, but we need to know the steps, and then we need to automate the steps. And this is the first time we've done this on an OpenShift cluster in IBM Cloud, so we're sort of doing it step by step. I would probably reach for maybe using Tecton pipelines or using Git like the Argo CD GitOps operator to actually automate this, or hell, Terraform or Ansible. Once I've actually got the process down and I've got the exact steps needed. But I always like to say, you can't automate something that you can't actually do yourself, and you can't do it yourself if you haven't got it reliably documented.
And that's a problem.
So here we go. This is definitely a problem. So I wonder how we can work around this. Now we could install an Ingress, like a separate Ingress, and go that route. But I was hoping that we would have access to this. Now, so these instructions are for OpenShift dedicated, which is a form of managed OpenShift. And I thought that it was the same on IBM Cloud.
So
I wonder if we
look at the IBM Cloud docs, there's pretty extensive things. Let's take a quick aside to look at that. We're looking for custom domain. Yeah, I think his name is Ian. I think I know him. No, of course that kind doesn't exist. Mm. Hmm. Hmm. Did I lose you? You there?
Yeah, I'm still
Okay.
here.
You just went real quiet.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm reading docs, trying to figure out what we can do. So I'm thinking that we need to um, create a secondary ingress controller. Oh, here we go. Paste a link in the tmux, and it's backticked the
Yep.
URL a bit, so I don't know if it's going to work.
Oh, I was just coming up to that exact same one. Oh,
Okay.
nice. Okay, we're not in VPC. We're in Classic. Here we go. What? Mm, no. No.
Yeah, so it's in
Here's some of the annotations.
exception is I missed it. Where was it? Use IBM provided to use a custom domain, and I don't think you're actually at the doc I linked you.
Oh no, I flipped away from that because this is all it is right here, right? Oh no, this is
Hang on one
creating. Sorry, this is
second.
creating. My bad. My bad. I didn't read it.
Yeah.
Deploying an app. No.
So it talks about deploy an app and create services. So maybe we should go ahead and do that. Um, so have you got an app already deployed, or do you want to grab that? You've got that Python app that you usually
No, just the
use.
demo app. It's fine. Here, we'll just go into projects and then create project. What are we going to call this?
You know, stick it in just to keep things simple.
Mm-hmm.
The my custom route project that we already created.
Okay, and then developer, catalog. Wait,
Yeah, no, pop back
add.
to do from Git, and you've got that app that we deployed last time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hang on. Native. Oh god damn it! Jesus Christ.
You struggling spelling your own
I
name?
am actually. Where the hell did it go? Here we go. Paste.
Yeah. So you pick that, it validates it, it sees it's Python, gives you all the bits you need. So why don't you give it a really simple application name rather than that? Uh, that works.
All right, give it a minute.
All right, so while that's deploying, let's go back to, so once it's deployed, we'll want to make sure it's exposed.
It's exposed right here. That'll be the. Oh, look at that! It gave me the name, even though we gave it the name of the short name. It took the service and did the other name.
Yeah, of course it did.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, no, that's all right. Whatever. Okay, so it's already exposed.
It's still building. Give it a minute.
Yeah, but the service is already exposed, right?
Should be, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So if you do a kubectl get service.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So it's there. It's got port 8080. So that means we can now move on.
But I don't want to move
now,
on.
if we want to use the IBM provided ingress domain and TLS secret, do this. We don't want to do that. We want to use a custom domain and TLS secret. What's up, JJ?
No, I was trying to make a joke, but then I got. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted for a second.
Right.
Yes. What are we doing?
So back to the IBM doc, setting up Ingress in OpenShift 4.
IBM doc and OpenShift 4. This one?
Yeah, this is the one. So you want to scroll down to the bit that talks about use a custom domain and TLS secret. And then the first step is prepare your custom domain.
And hold on. Deploy apps and app services, Ingress, TLS secret, custom. Here we go. All right.
Yeah. So you see the first step is prepare your custom domain.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so we have already done that first bit. We need to define an alias for your custom domain by specifying the IBM provided domain as a CNAME record. So go ahead and run that IBM Cloud OC cluster get -- cluster, and we're looking for the Ingress subdomain field. Wah, wah.
Okay, here we go.
Awesome. So maybe set that as a, let me see. So we need to go to your, use your words, Paul. We need to go to your DNS provider and create that CNAME using that full URL as the destination. Yeah, you got it, Alec. I think that's the doc that we've got open here. I think we're in a good spot. We're just trying to figure our way through it.
That, and then do.
So on the topic of, you asked Alec about automating it.
Mm-hmm.
So on OSD, this portion of creating the Ingress bits is automated. So that's why I could have in the docs, I can use that custom domain, and there's a custom domain operator that then figures out the rest of the ingress bits. But because that doesn't exist on this cluster, we sort of have to do it the hard way, which isn't that hard. All right, so that's done.
I'll add the record now. There we go.
So let's hang on, let me see. So star.os goes to, yeah, that looks good to me. So now pop back to the docs.
Hang on 1 second.
And we need to create a secret, but we already created that secret.
So then we can just...
So you can see, we can skip to the step 3, create the ingress resource.
All right.
So let's copy and paste this into a new file. I'm letting you do it unless you want me to do it.
Okay.
So we now need to just fill in the bits. So let's go for the host. And so the host is going to be
Like that?
well, so you actually want the host to be this particular app. So why don't you call it Python app? Yeah. And then the secret name is the secret name we created, which was, let me just remind myself, Acme-TLS.
Yep.
Right. And then under rules, put that same domain in.
Okay.
And then path can just be /. And then backend should be the name of the service that we just created. Which, yeah, you can get from there.
Port 8080.
And 8080. And you can get rid of that second path.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that is correct. So you should be able to save that off.
Hang on 1 second. I want to just take one quick look at a look real quick. Where would the secret be? I want to see that secret here.
I think you have to be in the developer view, don't you?
I would have thought you'd have to be in the admin view.
Oh, maybe. You might be right.
There's very little things I can... I mean, I guess I can just search across it, right? For Acme...
It's definitely, maybe it's under workloads, I think.
Secret stuff. Acme TLS. Okay, cool. I just wanted to see it. I was blanking on when we did it. So.
Yeah, I hear you. Why don't you go back to the topology view?
Topology view?
And actually, if you, yes, you're there. So your build is finished. Mm-hmm. Can you click on the web link? If you actually look at the, oh, is this it?
Yep.
Is that what it's supposed to say?
Yep.
All right. Uh-oh.
HTTP. It's only HTTP right now.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a good start. That means it's the basic service is working. Mm-hmm. So we should be able to save this ingress now and apply it. -F, dude.
Jesus Christ, Jason. Come on.
Oh, that's because you're on a slightly older version of Kubernetes that has Ingress as an like a V1 beta. If you do a kubectl get ingress -- all namespaces, I'm sure there's already one in there, and we can just steal the... Nope. Huh. All right. Ingress v1 beta 1. You should Google it too, and we'll see who wins. All right, let me try this. Oh, haha. It actually tells us right here in the thing that you pasted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, haha.
So we can
Nice.
just switch.
That's really surprisingly helpful. I don't know what to
Right?
do with that. Does not process.
So I think that's all we need to do there. And then we can attempt to reapply it.
Cool.
All right, so okay, get Ingress.
Oh, there it is. It's right there.
There it is. So we can.
It worked.
This.
It worked.
We should do a host on that. No.
It worked over
Still
here.
on that.
In the web browser, it worked. Oh.
Did it?
Yeah. See. Right there.
Let me have a look. Nice. Is that HTTP or HTTPS?
HTTPS. And just to prove it.
Maybe that's why mine didn't work. It was.
Yay!
It eventually worked on the command line as well.
Nice.
All right, so that was pretty simple. Lost Algorithm is excited at how beautiful our application is,
It really is amazing.
and as he should be, because it is quite amazing.
Mm-hmm.
A Python app this complex, it must have been JJ that wrote it.
It's true.
Very few Python developers have the chops to build a Python app quite this complicated.
I know, right? Even as a health check,
So
it turn on.
So that's step one done, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Right, so we now have our custom domain. So I feel like it'd be good to pop back and redocument it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for now, since we're on a roll, we should try and figure out the WAF bit.
Yes.
And so if we pop back to the to my document,
mm-hmm.
And then swivel up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see the diagram.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what we're doing is we've got the equivalent of the OpenShift app router in the Ingress down there. So we've sort of got the client to that bit sorted out. And that's happening with a DNS CNAME pointing at the app router.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing we want to do is set up the equivalent of the CloudFront and AWS WAF. And with that set up, we then repoint the CNAME at the CDN/WAF instead of our router.
Yep. That makes sense. So in theory.
And one thing I learned the hard way is you need to make sure you can pass the host headers through, because the host headers need to be correct for the certificate to match.
Okay. So we have a 30-day trial of the WAF here to kind of see how it goes. So we'll go ahead and try that now. We'll go ahead and create that. And I'm hoping this is pretty much instantaneous. There we go.
Fingers crossed.
All right.
Add a domain.
Okay. Add a domain. Okay, so we're going to do os.asgarlabs.
Now, well, do we need to do the full?
It says the example here is cloud.ibm.com here, right?
Yeah, but is it meaning it wants python-app.os as the domain?
Yeah.
Or is it going to do a wildcard in front of us. I bet you it's expecting that. Why don't you put a star.os and see what it does?
Okay.
That might tell us if it supports a wildcard.
Bigger font. All
Because if it
right.
supports a wildcard, that's the way to go because we don't have to do one per. Yeah, what are the other, are they steps or are they
Yeah, these are steps.
options? Those
These are
main, okay. They're not,
steps.
they kind of look like they're buttons to invalid value. Yeah, so I think if you do Python-app,
Okay. Oh, things are happening.
whoa.
So we need to now learn bind. Hang on, let me bring the book up.
Is this for real?
I think it is.
Okay. So actually, this is good because I think this means we can use the entire, like your entire domain.
Mm.
So like asgarlabs.io.
Oh, really?
I think that's what we were able to do here. Otherwise, why would it be asking for like an entire DNS file?
Yeah, I guess it's true. All right. So do I need
So
to
can we go back? Can we hit cancel? What can we do here?
cancel?
Yeah.
So I created it. So we want to
Oh boy.
edit this one, delete this one, or new
Yeah.
domain.
Delete this one.
Delete this
Just
one.
delete this one and we'll create a new one. Just to make sure we're not fighting with ourselves.
Okay.
Right. And so now
Add a
create a
domain.
new one.
Yep.
Yep.
asgarlabs.io.
asgarlabs.io. Now, hopefully your DNS provider lets you export a bind file from your DNS records.
That's a good question. Domain, secondary zones. Export your DNS to zone file. There we go.
Yes. So maybe just, you probably need to save that as a file, right?
Yep.
No, because you want to upload them to your web browser, not to.
Yep, I'm on the other machine.
Just right click and do save as.
Does that actually work? I don't have save as.
Of course it will.
I don't have save as. I'm using Safari because I'm difficult.
Yeah. So export as zone. Mm-hmm. Now you can go back to your browser, import records.
It's saved as a web archive file. What the fuck does that mean? Ugh. Save as. What? Okay, you know what we're going to do?
Wow.
We're going to copy this. And you know what? This is just Mac trying to be pompous.
Right?
Copy. That looks right. Nothing weird. Yep, that looks fun to me. All right, and then we'll come back over here. Import records. Okay, I mean, is that good? I don't.
I think so.
I don't know. Next. Okay.
Just throw that thing into production.
That's the way to do it. All right, here we go.
Oh my God. No.
Now I have to delegate everything over to
Seriously
CIS.
wants to.
Yeah. So it wants me to redelegate to
This
IBM.
is. this is more than I expected to need to do.
Yeah. And also, if I remember correctly,
So, okay, here's what we can do.
not all domains, not all TLDs are supported by IBM domain either. If I remember correctly.
Right. I mean, we're not going to delegate your entire domain to, yeah, lost algorithm. This was supposed to be just a WAF. I'm guessing that because I think it's a CDN plus WAF, and I guess they've decided that the easiest way to do that is to manage your entire fucking DNS infrastructure rather than just like look at a CNAME.
Yep. Yep.
So, that's one approach.
Yeah.
So, hang on a second.
Oh, we lost him. So I'll fill in the blank knowledge here. I'm definitely going to take a portion of this when we discovered this. Oh, we actually did lose him.
All right, I'm back.
Yay.
Oh, no, you didn't lose me. I had to sneeze, and I figured you didn't want to watch me sneeze.
Oh, you sneezed.
I figured you didn't want a slow motion view of my nasal excretions spraying onto my webcam.
It's probably a good idea. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're gonna waff off this.
Yeah. I mean, so what I would probably do if we wanted to, and I appreciate your little attempt at a pun there,
Thank you.
is I would probably create a DNS delegation record in so maybe we won't go through the full thing, but if you pop back over to your DNS service, and you go to manage DNS records.
And this one?
Yeah. And then if you do a add record and go to NS, and then if you do waf.asgarlabs.io, and then in the name server, it gave you a couple of name servers.
Yes. Where did I put it? Here we go. This one?
Yeah.
So do I hit next? Because it hasn't actually turned it on yet.
No. Don't even worry about that.
Okay. Okay.
So paste into there and
add record.
Add record, and then do the same for the other one.
Call that WAF also?
Yep.
Oh, I guess it'll load balance between both of them, right?
Yeah. So what this is doing is it's telling DNS simple for any waf.asgarlabs.io, send them to IBM for resolution instead of resolving them themselves.
Okay.
And so now if we drop back to the that file that you dropped in with the DNS records, the zone file, just do a vim on that and then make it bigger so we can read it. Yeah, and this is probably about as far as we will go. But effectively, you would remove most of this. You would change the base domain to be WAF dot, and then you would just add one record for the star dot CNAME, and then you would upload that, and then you would tell it to just do it for that, and that would probably make this work.
Yep.
But I think we'll stop at this point because you probably don't want to actually delegate it. And it's going to probably take 24 hours for everything to line up in DNS world.
And it looks like Alec put through something in here. Limitations. For the service, we support subdomain delegation only by using NS records from another provider. CNAME delegation is not supported. AAA, and CNAME wildcard records cannot be proxied.
Yeah. So again, JJ, this is another classic. Maybe we should read the docs before we attempt to do things, but that's not nearly as much fun.
It never is.
I always like to see where our expectations and reality split.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Just like Lock's algorithm says there, never read the docs. I mean, we should be able to figure this out.
Never read the docs.
Never read the docs. Well, okay.
Exactly.
Cool. Well,
so why don't we, do we want to pop around it? Oh, go ahead. We're both talking at once. Yeah. You go. No, you go.
No, you.
No, you go.
No.
Okay. No, you. All right, that's enough of that.
But in all seriousness, you're right. This is probably a good place for us to call it. And needless to say, this video will be up back on the YouTube channel that we post all these to here later on. And I'm actually going to take this as some feedback to the product managers because this wasn't completely obvious, right? Like we had to sit here and we were expecting one thing and we got something completely different. And if our competitor, which is, AWS does it this way and it's that easy to get that up and going, we should probably meet them at least halfway.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a couple of other WAF services I've looked at, and they all handle it doing CNAMEs. So I'm a little bit surprised. So the other thing is, I feel like there's not really a need for them to ask me for a zone file.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm doing a domain, like a subdomain delegation. Like I don't even have a zone file for you because I'm creating a brand new subdomain to delegate to you. So why don't you just figure it out? Like if I give you the domain name, you already know what name server record you're going to stick it on. So you already know the first 3/4 of the DNS I need. And you can just ask me to pump in some A records or CNAMEs and we're done.
Yep. Agreed.
But anyway, that's just me.
I am happy though that we did get our custom domain actually working. It was a little bit of a hiccup, but we did get that working, which needless to say is really useful for a lot of different cases now. So maybe when I spin up.
Yeah, and it was actually really simple. Like it was a little bit different to the docs I had for OpenShift dedicated, but not different enough that it takes more than 10 minutes to figure out the difference.
Exactly.
Do we want to call it, or do we want to YOLO it doing something else? Do we want to pick a random thing and attempt to do it?
No, I think we're going to call it because I'm going to do some editing on this video and upload it, and I can take this time right now. So
good idea.
Alec and Lost Algorithm, thank you for sticking around. This was truly this was one of our better streams, believe it or not, because we both came out with something we learned. So I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Paul, you want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye.